Okay, so here's our second example, but we're not even going to know that we need quadratic formula until we get there. This is just a polynomial, and we're told to sketch it. So if we have to sketch this, we have to go through the process of figuring out what we know and what we need. The first thing that I notice about this polynomial is that it has a degree of 3. I also notice that it's not a quadratic in form because the 3 isn't twice as much as the middle term's exponent. So that means that I can't just, do a quadratic in form kind of party. So because the degree is 3, it's going to be a cubic. I also know that my a value is positive, so that means that I am going to have something that resembles this. But when I go to look for a y-intercept, there's no constant. A constant is a number without a variable. So if I plug zeros in, like Miss Meek showed us, it's just 0. There's no constant. The constant is 0. So that means that this thing is going to cross at the origin. Okay, so the y-intercept is at the origin. Good to know. Time for us to look for x-intercept. Now, when I look for an x-intercept, I'm looking for the zeros. Thing is, I got x's all over the place here. So it does have a greatest common factor of x. So I'm going to take an x out first. When I do, I can only take one of them because this little guy at the end only has 1 to give. So that means that inside the parentheses is going to just, every x is just going to decrease by 1. So this is just going to be 4x squared minus 2x. And then this is just going to be minus 3. Okay, so we're going to set that equal to 0. And this is our first root. That's our 0. That's our solution. That's our x-intercept. But we kind of already knew that, didn't we? Because the y-intercept has to be the same as the x if it's at the origin. It's where they come together. So that was kind of lame. Now I got this trinomial. And it really is a trinomial because see the x squared and the x? Yes, that's what tells us it's a trinomial. Let's do some magic x happen. Let's see what it does. Magic x. A times c. 4 times 3 is, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. And my b term is negative 2. What multiplies to 12 that has to make negative 2? So I got 1 and 12, no. 2 and 6, no. 3 and 4, no. Oh, it's not factorable. So how do I know when I need to do quadratic formula? When you can't factor it. There's no combination of whole numbers that does this. So this is where we have to do quadratic formula. So let's begin. A is 4, B is negative 2, and C is negative 3. X equals negative B plus or minus square root B squared minus 4 times A times C. All over 2A. I didn't give myself a lot of space, did I? Okay, let's clean this up. Negative negative is a positive 2, plus or minus. Let's do a little bit of math. Negative 2 squared is 4. And this is negative 4 times negative 4. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. Times a negative 3 is positive 48. So I have a positive 4 and a positive 48. And 4 plus 48 is 52. 2 times 4 is 8. It's positive. No complex numbers here. Let's break down that square root. So 52 has a 4 in it. 4 times 13, I believe. Don't forget that when you break this down by square root, you still have to take the square root of that 4. That's going to be 2. Radical 13. All over 8. Last one. This 2 and this 2 and this 8 can all reduce by 2. So this is going to be a 1 plus or minus 1 radical 13 all over 4. Now I went ahead and I calculated this. And the way you calculate this to figure out where it goes on the x-axis is you literally type in 1 plus, you can type the 1 in, but you don't have to, radical 13. You have to do the 13. You don't have to do the 1 if you don't want to. Get your answer and then hit divide by 4 and hit your answer again. Okay, you got to do the whole top. Hit your answer button or your equals, then hit divide by 4 and equals again. And when I did this, I got 1.15. That's the positive answer. Then I had to do the negative answer. So I have to do 1 minus 1 radical 13. I have to get that answer, then divide by 4, and then hit the answer button again. So I'm doing just the top, calculating it, getting a whole value, then dividing the whole thing by 4, and then getting a value. And when you do, you should get negative 0.65. What does that mean? Guys, that means that we have 3 real values. This is a real root. This is real. It's just ugly. And this is real. It's just ugly. So there's 3 values that this cubic is going to cross that x-axis. So not every time you do quadratic formula is it going to be complex. Sometimes it's just going to be ugly, which is what happened here. Let's draw our axes. Y-intercept and x-intercept are at the origin. So I'm just going to put a big dot there. I need a dot at 1.15. And I need a dot at negative 0.65. So negative 0.6 is like before the 0.1, but more than halfway. So go here. Remember that it's got to resemble this shape, so it's got to start down here. It's going to cross, cross, cross. That's what it looks like.